My name is Kim Lind, and I am the special education teacher, TOSA, teacher on special assignment / coach for the North Kitsap School District. This is my 18th or 19th year with the school district. Here's a picture of my lovely family. This is us a couple of years ago in Las Vegas, Nevada. Looks like it might be time for a new picture of us. So today we're going to look at how to create and manage student intervention IEP plans in Panorama, specifically through the lens of special education. Our session outcomes today, and another picture of my beautiful children. By the end of this session, you'll be able to use Panorama's intervention and progress monitoring to track student growth and IEP services. So why focus on progress monitoring for IEP goals? Well, there's the urgent legal requirements. So Andrew F. versus Douglas County School District. Look that case up. The burden of proof is now on schools. It's shifted away from the families. And IEP progress monitoring tells us if what we're doing is working. It informs our instruction and our interventions. It supports decision making in the IEP team. It identifies needs. It tracks the effectiveness of our strategies, shows us areas of growth, and helps with student goal setting and their motivation. So let's look at this and discuss. Here's a student. Here's their progress monitoring data. How do we define growth of this student's progress? Are they going to make their IEP goal? Take a minute and think about that. So let's define student growth. What is growth? Growth represents the measurable progress a student makes over a specific period relative to their baseline performance. Adequate growth in IEP goals. How do we know if a student has made enough adequate growth towards their IEP goals? Well, we have to have consistent progress monitoring data collection. We have to have a comparison of the data trends against the target goal line. And we need to be able to analyze the instruction and the intervention effectiveness. So the good thing is NKSD special education teachers are paving the way. So we're already using some common progress monitoring tools and graphs to simplify the work for our staff and to help our families, students, and other teachers better understand and participate in our IEP discussions. So here's just a couple examples of common progress monitoring tools and graphs we're using for behavior, adaptive skills, social emotional here in North Kitsap. Gone are the days of narrative notes for your IEP goals. We have to be able to show in our IEP progress monitoring, here's where the student was, and here is where they are now. As special education teachers, keeping accurate, timely progress monitoring data is vital for our IEP meetings and for our compliance. Panorama allows us to centralize our specialized instruction, to track our IEP goals, and to easily pull data together for our upcoming annual IEP meetings. We can use Panorama for whole child data. It goes just beyond the academics. Panorama allows us to view a holistic picture of our kid. We can triangulate our academic data. So for today, I'm going to be using some M-Class data. We can triangulate that with attendance records, behavior incidents, social emotional learning surveys. And how can Panorama and Panorama Solara enhance your progress monitoring and student support? Well, you can use Solara to upload recent evaluations or use data in Panorama to help you identify priority IEP goals and to suggest data tracking forms. Stay tuned for another session on Panorama Solara. You can also use Panorama to graph your IEP goal progress and to easily share with the IEP team members and families anytime, and for your progress reports. Panorama is also a place to house historical progress and growth on IEP goals, as well as the specific interventions you've provided. Well, how can intervention plans in Panorama help you? There are a lot of efficiency gains to using Panorama. It's a centralized data location. More time is available to analyze and act on your data. Automated progress monitoring, including visuals and summaries. It gives you the ability to have collaboration across multiple providers. Real-time alerts when there's a lack of progress or growth on IEP goals. And Panorama is a historical progress all kept in one location. Think of it this way. Panorama equals less work plus better data plus more time for students. All right, well, let's pause there and let's get to creating an intervention plan. Let's walk through this. So you're going to start by picking a student. You'll navigate to the Students tab and open up the profile of a student on your case management roster. So I'm going to use my son Riker Lind today for our practice session. You're going to click on the blue Student Actions box, and you will click Create Intervention Plan. Once you do that, it's going to pop up with a new fresh planning template that will say Create Individual Intervention, and you will see your chosen student. Across the top, intervention type, tier, and focus area. For intervention type, I'm going to pick ELA. I'm going to pick Tier 3. And for focus area, I'm going to pick fluency. In this box here, what is the goal of the intervention? Here's where you're going to put in your IEP goal. We do have a document, M-Class Sample IEP Goal Bank. This is located in our Special Education Hub. Here you can find sample goals for M-Class reading IEP goals. I'm going to choose oral reading fluency and ORF goal because that's what I'm using. And you guys, I've already copied it and written it down ahead of time. Whoops, let's go back to where we are. All right, here I'm going to paste it in there. Here's my IEP goal. Pre-intervention reflection. Here's where you can write in how the student's doing in regards to your chosen focus area. So I might say that Riker is continuing to work on decoding multi-syllable words. Coming down here, you have select strategy. You will choose select strategy from library or add a custom strategy. You can type in your specific specialized instruction strategy or method here, or you can browse the Panorama playbook for an evidence-based intervention that matches your IEP goals. So I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to use repeated readings and then back to intervention plan. Next, you'll click Intervention Start Date. This will be the start date of the IEP. For today's practice IEP, I'm going to use my start date was January 20th. For an annual IEP goal, I'm going to change the duration to 50 weeks. This is what we use for our annual IEP goals. Intervention references. Here you could put in any links or notes or other references that you want to include with your IEP goal progress monitoring. And then you're going to click Continue. You'll see champion, where you can type into the box. Make sure you assign yourself as the champion. For monitoring method for IEP goal, we're going to choose custom method. Monitoring frequency. This is how often you're going to be progress monitoring your IEP goals. This could be monthly, every other week. For today's practice session, I'm going to do monthly. For oral fluency, you might do every other week. Next, you'll see the custom method name. Here's where you're going to type in your custom method. It could be ORF, MAISE, NWF. I'm going to be using ORF as that aligns with the IEP goal that I'm using. At the very bottom, you'll see two boxes, baseline and target. Click the baseline field and enter the IEP baseline. I'm going to use 87 as the baseline. Click the target box and you're going to enter in your IEP goal. I've previously used our ROI chart to set the goal, and I'm going to use 137 as my IEP goal. And then click Create Intervention. And success, your IEP plan has been created. So now your intervention's created. Now your IEP goal progress monitoring is set. So you're going to give your computer a little bit of time to think. And then you should be able to see it right here in Panorama. So when it comes time to enter your progress monitoring data for your IEP goals, you'll click the plus. You'll come to this blue box and click Update Progress. You'll click the date field and enter in the date of the progress monitoring. This is going to be the date that the student performed their ORF. So for my first progress monitoring for this student, I'm going to say it was February 24th. In this box, I can add in any notes. Maybe here's where you want to add in what his accuracy was on your progress monitoring. Maybe here's where you would add in any words that he missed. Then you'll come down to the score and you're going to enter his score. I'm going to say he read 105, and then I'm going to click save. I'm going to give the computer time to think. And now I can see that my first data point is in there. You can click the plus again, update progress, and you can add additional progress monitoring data. I'm going to add a couple more so that we can see the graph. I'm going to say March 17th that he read 92 words, and I'm going to click save. And I'm taking all of these directly from his M-Class progress monitoring data. Let's do another one. Let's say April 22nd. I'm going to say he read 84 words, and I'm going to click save. And I can see some data points on my IEP goal tracking. And let's do one more. I'm going to say May 28th. I'm going to say 93, and then I'm going to click save. So when I click that plus, I can see the graph. And as you consistently log your IEP data, Panorama will automatically generate a progress graph. This visual trend line is incredibly valuable for showing our parents and the IEP team exactly how the student is responding to the intervention. It also tells us if something is not working and we need to bring the team back together to discuss and make changes. I want to show you another way to add your IEP progress monitoring data. Click over here on Students and Support. Click Intervention Plans. You'll see here Plans I am champion for. This should pull up all of your IEP progress monitoring that you are the champion for. Click Actions, Update Progress. Here you can put in your IEP progress information and you would click Save. Go to the next student, click Update Progress, and save. This is another way to easily add your IEP progress monitoring data. When the goal is met or when an annual IEP review arrives, you're going to go to More Actions. You will click Complete Plan. You'll put in the date, whether the goal was met, yes or no, and then any recommendations for ongoing support. What's next for this student? Then you will click Mark Intervention as complete. You can print or export the summary graph to attach it directly to your IEP progress reports or to your annual IEP. Using Panorama this way keeps our special ed data organized and defensible and easily accessible for the whole team. Okay, so let's take some reflection time. What is one tool or one practice or one thing you've learned today that you're going to take back to your team? And then what's one tool or practice that you want to continue exploring? Take a minute to think about those and to jot yourself a note. Now some exploration time. Now take some time in Panorama. Practice creating an IEP intervention goal, and then practice adding some progress monitoring for at least one of your students. I'm Kim Lind. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your incredible dedication to supporting our students' diverse learning needs. If you have any questions or you want to keep practicing, please feel free to reach out, and I'll see you next time. Keep exploring.